Hi everyone, it's Claire back again. So, have you ever heard of words like blurple and squoval and Crellie? These are all the words that you will hear when you first start collecting nail polish and getting into nail polish, and they completely confused me when I first started. And this is a video that I've been meaning to do for quite a while, and it's really to help out anybody that's struggling to understand what all this terminology means when it comes to finishes and formulas for nail polishes. So hopefully this will be helpful. I'm probably going to need to break this into two parts, because when I was going through it, I discovered there was actually quite a lot to describe of different formulas and finishes. So this is probably going to be the formulas, and the next video is likely to be more about the finishes, but they may overlap. So it's a miserable rainy Sunday morning in the north of England, so I thought I'd catch up on some videos today. So let's get started then with the formulas. Now, you will have heard me talk about creams quite a lot, and what I want to do is show you the difference between a cream and a jelly. So this is Revlon Bewitching, which is a dark pink red cream, and it's very opaque. Opaque obviously meaning full coverage. And this is NARS Jungle Red, which is a very juicy jelly red. So let's start with the Revlon. So hopefully we can see just how thick and opaque this is. Remember, the swatches are translucent, so this is going to look a lot more opaque on the nail. But yeah, that's an opaque cream, one coater, and that's Bewitching. So let's look at the difference then with a jelly finish, a jelly formula. So this is the NARS. This has got an absolutely gorgeous finish, and it's pretty much opaque in two coats. What you get with the jelly formulas is you can see through them. So they seem quite sheer, but actually you can get coverage if you build it up. And what else did I want to say about jellies? They're very, very, very shiny, so you don't usually need to put a top coat on. So again, there's the cream and the jelly. See, you can see through it, so it adds this, it gives this juicy depth to the nail, and very, very, very shiny. So that's a cream and a jelly. So we then get this kind of hybrid word, Crellie, which is effectively exactly that. It's a mixture between a cream and a jelly. And the reason that this type of formula is used is usually to suspend glitters in, so that you can build up maybe and have two coats, but the glitters still sit on the surface of the polish, so they don't sink and get eaten up, which they would if it was a dense cream like this one. So let me show you. This is Daddy's Little Monster from the Suicide Squad Worst Heroes Ever collection. Now, if you have got a Crellie that's got lots of glitters in, you might want to do two thin coats and build it up. But as you can see on this mixture, this kind of hybrid Crellie formula, you can still see the glitters. I think I probably would need to put at least two coats. Yeah, two coats, you're going to be able to get away with that. And you'll still be able to see these lovely glitters that just look like this floating and swimming on the surface. So that's cream, jelly, Crellie. Okay, so that's the three main formulas that you'll probably hear me talk about. Let's just move these out of the way. So the next one we get to, well, I just want to show you the difference between, these are two similar colours. like pale lilac colour, 2 SE minis. This one is Virgin Snow, and this is Hubby for Dessert, which I think came in one of the bridal collections maybe last year. And I just want to show you, this is my experience when I first started, is this is an example. I'd buy something that was a cream, and then I'd buy a colour not realising it was sheer, and I'd get really disappointed with it and not know what to do with it. So let me just show you the difference. So again, this is a cream polish, very opaque for a pale colour as well, on just one coat. So that's Essie Virgin Snow. And then you get this one, which is similar kind of colour. And you think, okay, is this going to be the same? This is what's called a sheer polish. Just look. See how this sometimes happens with these minis, and what you have to do is put them on tight and then carefully take the lid off. So you put this on and think, oh, I'm really disappointed with this because look, it's just so sheer. Now this is meant to be a sheer polish, and it's actually got a really lovely formula. And as you can see, I have worn this. Oh, yeah, I've worn this quite a few times. But you initially look at this and go, yeah, this one's lovely, this one's rubbish. It's meant to be sheer, and you can use them specifically for things like if you want a natural nail, but you just want your nail to look a bit neater and tidier, you can use them in French manicures. And I'm sure there's other nail art that you can use these sheer polishes for, but they're just very delicate. Gives you a quick wash of colour, but not the block opaque cream. So again, it depends on really what you want to use the polishes for. But that's just an example of two similar colours that have very different finishes because of the formula, the formulation. So the next one we're going to get to is a matte polish, and this is Barry M Matte Nail Paint, and this is Rosalie. And again, with mattes, they tend to dry very quickly, so you've got to be quick. This one's not too bad actually, it kind of goes on like a cream. It's not too dry and chalky, but it does dry to this matte finish, which as it dries you can see it's starting to get this dull finish, so the shine disappears. You can get some mattes that are really seriously uber matte. And I've actually got an autumn nail haul coming hopefully in the next couple of days from Nail Polish Direct, where I've ordered combat blutes from the China Glaze autumn collection, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. And it's a dark navy blue, but it's extremely matte. It just looks like it's the mattest polish that I've seen in quite a while. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And you also get polishes that dry to a more what's called a satin finish, so it's not completely matte. Again, it's like a Crellie, it's in between a glossy and a matte, so you get that halfway effect. With matte polishes and satin polishes, if you're really interested in the colour but you don't like the matte finish, you can always just stick a glossy top coat on there. And it just becomes a glossy polish. Okay, so that's matte. The next type of polish, the next type of formula is a textured polish. And this is a bonus that this has got lots of scattered holographic glitters. I'll talk about glitters and holographic glitters and iridescent and pearlescent and that kind of thing in the next video. But I just want to show you this textured finish. Now, I wore this quite recently. This is Pixie Dust from Zoya, and it's, which one is it? Luxe. And I wore it, really liked it, took some lovely pictures with it. There's something about textured polishes that I like the look of them, but they irritate me during the day, and this one started to kind of catch on my hair and on my clothes, and it sort of starts to pull. So although I like the textured finishes, I would maybe just use them on like an accent nail rather than a full manicure. But again, it's entirely your preference. You might really enjoy textured polishes. This is going to need a couple of coats to build up to opaque, and maybe put that over another polish so that you don't have to have too many layers. But we'll come back to that. Unfortunately, you can't feel the texture. But yeah, that's the textured. So we'll now move on to gloss. So this is Barry M Lolly Gloss. These types of polishes are also called tints or watercolours, and they're very, very sheer, and you basically just get a wash of colour. Now these are great to be used in nail art, or I mean you can build them up and get a very dense jelly looking finish, but they're also quite versatile in that you can top them over a different colour. So we're going to go, this is on its own, so as you can see it looks very sheer, but I'm going to put a gold. This is For Your Nails Only stamping polish, gold, and we're just going to see what these two are like together. So a gold base with an orange wash of colour over the top. So I'll let that dry for a second, and that's Bullion by For Your Nails Only. We'll come back to these two. The next finish or formula that I want to talk about is shimmer. I've got two shimmers here. This is Sinful Colours Purple Diamond. Now to me this has got more of a, rather than a glitter shimmer, it seems to have more of a glass fleck or a, come on, let's do a close-up. There. So the shimmer here is, it's almost kind of bordering on a frosty finish, which I know is, I don't have any frosty type of polishes, but it provides this shimmer on the surface of the nail. Oops. I don't drop it everywhere. Now to me this looks like it's got more of a glass fleck or flaky, crushed, flaky shimmer. Whereas this one here, which is Midnight Cami by Essie, is definitely a glitter shimmer, a very, very finely milled glitter shimmer, and it just gives this cloudy effect. Quite often these types of shimmers do get lost on the nail, or it just gives it as the polish a slight metallic feel. This one's very dark, so you can't really see it. You can't really see this shimmer. So that's an example of shimmers. It's a cream, but with this either flaky or glitter, very finely milled, to provide this shimmer that runs through the cream polish. I'll show you very quickly rather than talking about it. That's Midnight Cami, very opaque, dark navy blue. And this is Purple. I think you'll see the shimmer more on this one actually, yeah. This is Purple Diamond by Sinful Colours. And I think we've got enough, just enough sun for you to be able to see. That's a very shimmery polish, whereas you're going to be looking for a long time to see the shimmer in this dark midnight cami. Yeah, I can't see it at all, really. I have got other dark navy blues where the shimmer is more pronounced. I've got an Illamasqua that's similar to this. But yeah, you can see the shimmer there on that one. This is lovely. It looks very delicate just because it's that pale pink delicate base. And again, I suppose you could put that over another cream so that you're not doing too many layers. So that's shimmers. And the last one I want to show you in this video is a neon polish. Now before I do that, I want to put a white base down so that we're going to see if we can see the difference between a neon formula on its own and a neon formula over a white base. I'm not completely enthusiastic about neon polishes, but I do like to experiment a little bit, and maybe with some nail art and things in the summertime where I like brighter colours. This is one of my recent neons which I got in the Me box, and it's Louis Lemon. So it's a really good formula actually. Most neons will dry matte just because of the formula. It just must be. I'm not an expert on making nail polish, but I imagine that the pigments that are in it are so bright that it just dulls the formulation. So that's Louis Lemon on its own, and we'll see that start to dry down matte. And while that's drying, we'll just go back and have a look at, there's the matte from Barry M. So I think sometimes it can give a really dramatic look on the nail having a matte polish. And we're just going to put another coat of Luxe so we can hopefully see the build-up of this textured effect. I mean, the Pixie Dusts are Zoya's version of textured polishes. For OPI, they've got the liquid sands. Very similar, same thing, textured version. Okay, and I'm going to go over this gold with the orange lolly gloss so we can see the effect. So I would say don't dismiss polishes that are sheer and jelly formulas, because you can do some really interesting things with them, and you can always have that classic French manicure as well, which I tend to like those. Every now and again I'll go for a sheer polish just for something different, and just to kind of cleanse your palette a bit. So you can see how that lolly gloss, the orange lolly gloss over a gold, just gives it a completely different effect, and it actually makes you've got what you end up with there is a metallic orange, which is lovely. So these, you can play around with these lolly glosses. I've got a purple one actually, I think is going to look really nice over a silver. So finally, let's go back and see if we can get anything different over white on this. Now, hopefully you can see. It doesn't always pick up the neons very well, but just one coat. If you're going to do this on its own, you probably need three coats. You can see it's starting to dry down matte there on its own. This one over white, you only need one coat, and it just gives it that extra brightness, neonness. There you go, a new word, neonness. But that's, yeah, neon formula. So hopefully that was helpful. There will be a second part where I'm going to talk about things like metallics and flakies and crackles and magnetic polishes, etc, etc. So I will see you back hopefully for part 2. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.